Yo, what up? We're back for another prop of the week, and this week it's going to be Antonio Carlos Jr. wins inside the distance, which is plus 105. And just looking at this, looking at all the fights on the card, the main card, I mean, I think probably you could parlay all those fights not going the distance because I don't think many of these fights are going to hit the scorecards. But we're just going to do what we usually do, break down a few of or all the matchups and the props that they have, and just see what stands out for us. But the prop of the week is going to be Carlos Jr. via submission, and when we get up there, I'll kind of tell you why I think that as well. But with Austin Hubbard, Kyle Prepolak, I wouldn't really touch this fight. I do think it's probably going to be a decision victory for Hubbard here, but I don't know. I don't really think there's not really much value here. I mean, unless you think there's going to be a finish and you actually are confident on a side that who you think is going to finish. Like if you think that either guy's going to finish, you're going to get over plus 400 odds. So I mean, go for it, I guess. But I don't really see that there with Smoke against Ryan McDonald. I mean, I know a lot of people don't think very highly of Ryan McDonald. I got some shit for picking him on the video this week. So if you think Smoke is going to finish him, I guess. That's not a bad play there. Smolka, I mean, I would assume you'd think he's going to get a submission. I don't even know if he has any career knockouts, but I think Ryan McDonald's going to go in there and shock a lot of people and get the win of that fight just because I don't think Smolka is that good, man. So I wouldn't touch many of the props on that one, but I'm still sticking with Ryan McDonald to get it done there. And Griffin against Skelly. I do think Skelly's going to get a submission here. Um, which is plus 335. So that's some decent value on there, but I'm not going to be playing that. I think Griffin does obviously have a chance to win as well, but pick for me is going to be Chas Skelly in that one. And Katona versus Azar, I actually think that a good bet in this fight, to be honest with you, is put Katona wins in round two and round three because it's plus 900, plus 1475. And I think the way that this fight's going to play out is I think that Azar might have some early success with takedowns, but I think as the fight goes on, the moment is going to get to him because I think he's going to come out really fast. I think that Katona is going to be disciplined, stay inside of himself, and eventually be able to start getting up, defending these submissions, and get a knockout or get a submission of his own. So I think Brad Katona is going to finish in the second or third round. So I just do think the plus 1475, the plus 900 hold a lot of value there. And then Miles Johns versus Cole Smith. I do think that if Johns doesn't finish him in the first round, it's going to go to decision. I think Smith has a small chance to finish in the third round. But I would guess this fight goes to decision and Miles Johns gets it done in that one. With Sakai against Taipora, man, I'm just going to pass through that. Whatever. Jimmy Crute against Misha Serkinov. I do think that Mish could get a finish. I don't think this fight's going to go to decision. This is like what I'm talking about, where you could start to kind of parlay these together because, fight won't go 3 round distance, minus 325. You have a sample size with these two guys where not a lot of fights go to decision. None of Misha's fights in the UFC have gone to decision. He has the shortest time of fight in light heavyweight history. And Jimmy Crute has 2 finishes in his 3 UFC fights. So, or I think he has a finish in all of his UFC fights. It could be, this is his 3rd UFC fight, actually, I believe. But the finish against Paul Craig was late in the fight. But yeah, I mean, both these guys have finishes. I do think that the longer the fight goes, maybe it favors Jimmy Crute. But I kind of think it's going to be over in the first round. So, yeah, I mean, that's my thoughts on this fight. I do think that, it's parlayable. Fight won't go the distance here. And then with the prop of the week, let's talk about it a little bit with Antonio Carlos Jr. against Uriah Hall. And it's kind of just like what I said, man. I just feel like Carlos Jr. is going to be able to get takedowns all day. The double leg should be there. Should be able to cut off the cage. And unless he just gets hit by a bomb, gets hit with a big shot, then I don't see him losing the fight, and I see him getting the finish on the ground. So I do think it's going to be a submission via rear naked choke. I think that Uriah Hall just gives his back way too easily, but just to be a little bit safe, to go with the inside the distance, it's still a plus money bet, and it's a bet that I'm very confident that's going to hit. And you get to head yourself with the fact that if he gets a knockout, then you would still win the bet as well. But I actually think this fight as well has a lot of value if the fight doesn't go the distance at minus 205, just solely because I believe if Uriah Hall is going to win, it's going to be a knockout, and if Junior's going to win, it's going to be a finish as well. I really don't see this fight going to decision. So, yeah, the parlay of the week is going, or I mean, the prop of the week is going to be Carlos Jr. inside the distance, but I think that won't go 3 round distance as well. Has a lot of value there. And for Connolly against Pereira, I was going to give you guys a breakdown for that fight, but man, I mean, I couldn't really find any footage of Tristan Connolly online, so all I could say is, he's a 155er. He's fought recently, and he's going to be coming in here on short notice to fight Pereira. But the thing is, I'm really not super sold on Michel Pereira. He did come in there get that great win. He's fun to watch, but I definitely could see him potentially losing this fight, and losing a lot of people a lot of money. But the thing is, he's very big. He missed weight for this fight. He's one of the bigger 170s in the UFC. Conley's coming in at short notice, moving up a division, and it would be a bad loss for Pereira to lose here. But I would not trust Michel Pereira in any type of parlay, anything like that. So. And then this is another fight, once again, where I think you could parlay. The fight won't go 3 round distance. Jeff Hughes, Todd Duffy. Would be very surprised to see this fight go all 3 rounds. And I'm getting more confident in Jeff Hughes as this week goes on, man. Just like Todd Duffy's head doesn't seem like it's in the fight, man. I mean, like, why are you talking? You're like his whole thing the whole week is he's talking about the media. It's like, man, that's not gonna help you win the fight. Being unfocused, like trying to be like a crusader for every fight. I don't even know what he's like trying to do, but it's like I don't know. Who knows why he's coming back here? But yeah, I'm more confident Jeff Hughes is gonna get it done. I think he's gonna get a knockout. So I mean, I wouldn't put any money on Jeff Hughes just because I'm not gonna do that. But fight what won't go 3 round distance. I mean, Duffy is either gonna finish him or he's gonna get finished. So yeah, man. I mean, minus 285 there. That is good value. I mean, if you parlayed that minus 285 with the Shoeface Jr. minus 205, I think that's a pretty good bet there as well. And then to share against Krylov, here's another one, man. I mean, Krylov's never been to decision in his entire career. Kind of evident in the odds, almost minus 500 for that. But man, I mean, I don't think the share has been a decision but like 3 or 4 times, and this is another fight that I think is going to be finished early, probably in the first round, where both these guys are going to come forward, and someone's going to get a knockout or someone's going to get a submission here, and I think it's going to be Glover Teixeira getting the submission, which is plus 190 as well. But yeah, I don't see this fight going to decision. I'd be almost shocked if it did. And the main event as well, it's almost like minus 600, I believe, not to go to decision in this one for the main event. Yeah, minus 610. So they really don't see this fight going all 5 rounds, and neither do I, man. I mean, Cerrone versus Gaethje going all 5 rounds. Any fight that Justin Gaethje's in going all 5 rounds just seems extremely unlikely. I know he did, I believe, have a couple that went all 5 rounds in World Series of Fighting, but 17 of his 20 wins, he's won by knockout. He's been finishing his 2 losses, so he's been in 3 decisions. And I really don't expect this to be a decision here with Cerrone. Cerrone does have a couple decisions mixed in. That decision with Leon Edwards. I believe he had another decision victory in the 5 round fight against Ally Quinta. So he does have his 2 most recent 5 round fights going the distance, but that was a fight where he was able to control the pace. And against Leon, Leon's a guy that's low risk. And yeah, I mean, I just don't see this fight going all 5 rounds. I'd be very surprised. See this fight being more at the pace that Ferguson versus Cerrone was fought at, rather than those other 2 fights. And my pick's gonna be Gaethje to get the knockout, but Cerrone has a good chance to get the knockout as well. And yeah, so I mean, I really do feel like you could parlay a lot of these fights not going the distance and be pretty safe in terms of the bet, win some money there. So the props are not that bad for this week, and hopefully the prop of the week and the parlay of the week and the most confident pick all cash this week for our picks, and we do very well tomorrow. I'm pretty confident that we're going to be doing well tomorrow, so hopefully we can bring that momentum in, and Don't forget that this fight, once again, is early. It's like 11 a.m. on the West Coast, I believe. So don't miss it. And thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Comment, like, subscribe, and check out the breakdown video if you haven't watched it yet.